Hi everybody, welcome to our channel. Oh, did you like doing that? Yes. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about sizing up your child for a violin. The size that Tiahna has here is a 32nd, which is the smallest violin you can buy unless you get it custom made. Alright. This is the biggest violin you can get, which is my violin. It's a full size, and you usually play a full size, I say about year 7 and up. But the thing is, not every child and person is the same. A child that is 12 years old might be the same size as the size of another child that's 8. Nobody is the same length, all at the same ages. So basically what you need to do is you need to stretch out your hand so that your hand is around the scroll. If you can go all the way around, it is the right size. This size actually is probably on the tiny side, but the thing is, for me, the thing is with adult violins, they only go up to a full size, so that's it. So even if you've got huge arms and hands, this is the size.
Now let's look at the violin size chart. A 32nd violin is for a 1 to 2 year old. A 10th violin is for a 3 to 4 year old. An 8th violin is for a 4 to 5 year old. A quarter size violin is for a 6 to 7 year old. A half size violin is for an 8 to 9 year old. A 3/4 violin is for a 10 to 11 year old. And a full size is 12 years and older.
Now what I recommend is, no matter what size they are, I prefer to start all my students on a very small violin, because when you put the violin up on your shoulder and hold it, everyone says, oh, it's so heavy. A lot of my students are shocked at how heavy a violin is. The thing is, we develop muscles and we get used to it, but this is only done through building up. So what my students do is they get a smaller violin, and we slowly, after a while, build up, and so they go to the next size violin, then the next size violin. When they're at the size of the violin they normally would be at, we stop there. Alright, a 32nd violin is a small... Yes, that's Nana's violin, isn't it?
Mama.
Yeah, Mama's violin. So when Tiahna started to learn the violin, I started her off on a foam violin because it's light and it's easier to learn the technique of holding the violin. And then she also used a wood violin that she was given, and now we're actually on the real violin. She didn't say anything about it being too heavy, and I think she just thought, I really want to play it, so I don't mind. The thing is that you don't want to start your child on an instrument that's too big, because they will actually develop pain from having bad technique. Because when your body is stressed, you try to compensate in unnatural ways, and therefore you end up with injuries. Right, so this is what you do when you measure your child for the correct size. Is we stretch out our hand. Can you stretch out your hand? So you can see Tiahna can hold the scroll. This is really just on her size. I would prefer her to be on a smaller violin, but this is the smallest they make that you can buy. So the thing is that you have to, can you show everybody your hand on the scroll? Yes, can you do that? So put your hand all the way up here, going all the way to the end. So she can touch the scroll, but I would rather her hand be around the scroll. Have a look at my violin. When I play, I have a right angle. Okay, and I obviously can put my hand at the end. I actually, when I was 18, I was still playing a 3/4. Not because my arm wasn't long enough, it was because I was able to play better on a 3/4 than I could a full size. Just because I have small hands. So that's another thing that comes into play is, do you have finger flexibility? So when you've got to play chords and your fingers have to go crazy like that, it's easier to play it on a tiny little violin like this than to do it on a big one. And what has happened is my fingers have slowly got more flexible, and now I can play easily on a full size. So now I want to talk to you about bows. Now you might think, oh, well, the bow just comes with the violin, so it doesn't matter about sizing the bow. But what I also like to do is to take the child down a bow size. So even if they get to the size where they can hold that size violin, the bow hold, until they can do a bow hold at the smaller side, I don't let them go up. So if their bow hold is very stiff and stressed, they're not ready for the next size up. So I say even if they're not able to do it on the smallest bow you can find, do it on a pencil that's really light. The bow size for my violin is this one here. You can see that there. And it is longer, obviously, than the violin, just a little bit. But for me, I can easily do a bow hold on my bow. Now, here is the bow that came with Tiahna's violin. You can see again, it's a little bit longer than the violin. But I actually don't let her use this bow. I have got her what's called a twinkle bow, so it's really short. And you can see it's half the size. Now I have even my advanced students practice sometimes on a, this is called a twinkle bow because it's for your beginner violinist. So they will play their violin using the little bow. The reason why I get them to use a smaller bow is so they use the lower half of their bow. So if they're playing all the time on the top of their bow and never at the bottom, to get them to play up here, I get them to have the little bow and they get to play on the little bow. That's a technique builder for the advanced ones, because obviously by the advanced level they should know how to hold their bow. Well, I hope that's been helpful for you. Can you say bye-bye to everybody? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Bye.